All right, welcome to this explainer. Look, we've all had that tantalizing dream of scoring cheap Broadway tickets, right? I mean, imagine getting to see world-class productions like Hamilton, Wicked, or Hadestown under the bright lights of New York City, but without completely emptying your wallet. Sounds like absolute magic. Well, today we're going to unpack exactly how this entire ecosystem works. We're looking at the latest data, theater policies, and some real insider strategies to help you navigate the whole shebang.
So let's just jump right into this massive price drop. Seeing a ticket plummet from $150 or honestly sometimes way more than that down to just $30 is totally real. It literally happens every single day in New York. But here's the thing, theaters aren't charities. To get that kind of massive discount, you've got to play their game. And that means accepting a pretty major catch.
Because there's this massive misconception out there. To quote directly, the mistake most people make is treating these discount paths as universally smart. They're not a hack, they're a trade-off. And that really hits the nail on the head. So many people arrive in the city thinking there's some secret, universal cheat code to getting cheap theater tickets. But treating it like a guaranteed hack? Yeah, that's a fast track to a really disappointing vacation.
Section 1. The Certainty Trade-off.
Okay, so this central trade-off is all about certainty. When you pay full price months in advance, you own your experience, right? You pick the date, the time, and the exact seat you want. But the second you use the discount method, you hand all of that power right back to the theater. Seat locations for these heavily discounted methods are almost always at the absolute discretion of the box office, which means, you could end up in the glorious front row, or you might end up in a partial view seat staring at a brick wall on the extreme side of the theater. You're definitely paying less, but you're giving up all your control.
Section 2. Master the Broadway lottery.
Now, the digital lottery is fantastic because it's super low effort. You literally just enter the day before, right from your couch. But here is the massive catch. If your name actually gets drawn, a strict, non-negotiable 60-minute countdown starts immediately. If you're stuck in a meeting, or asleep, or on a flight, and you happen to miss that window, say goodbye to your tickets. The anxiety is very real, but honestly, so are the savings.
What's really wild is that every single theater plays by its own rules. Take Hamilton, for instance. They have a dedicated app where you can get tickets for an incredible $10, a nice little nod to the $10 founding father. Harry Potter runs the Friday 40, which opens draws on Friday for the entire following week. And Wicked actually offers a mix. You've got a digital lottery for around $60 and an in-person draw right at the Gershwin Theater for just $30. You absolutely have to know the specific playbook for the exact show you want to see.
Section 3. Rush and Cancellation Strategies.
If you're not into relying on pure luck, rush tickets are all about snagging unsold inventory. You can do this the old-fashioned way, lining up physically outside the box office hours before it opens at 10 a.m., just crossing your fingers you're first in line. Or you can do a digital rush through an app at exactly 9 a.m. But there, you're basically racing thousands of other people to just click a button first. Both of these methods mean you have to be fast and incredibly flexible.
Now, for those massive, totally sold-out hits, standing room only, or SRO, is pretty much your last resort. You pay around $30 to $50, but there's a catch. You don't actually get a seat. You'll be standing at the rear rail of the orchestra section the entire time. For a punchy 80-minute show, it's a breeze. But for a massive 3-hour epic, yeah, you better be wearing some highly sensible shoes and have the calves of a marathon runner before attempting that one.
And then we have the cancellation line. This is a true insider tactic. You might find yourself waiting right up until 30 minutes before the curtain rises, just hoping a VIP releases their held seat or someone happens to return a ticket. Single seats pop up the most here. Oh, and here's a veteran tip for you. Bring cold, hard cash. If a seat suddenly opens up 5 minutes to showtime, handing that agent cash is literally the fastest way to get your ticket and sprint to your spot before the lights go down.
Section 4. The TKTS Booth Fallback.
We all know those iconic, glowing red TKTS steps in Times Square, right? It's the ultimate fallback plan. But the smartest move? Check their app first to see what's actually available in real time before you go. Then just hit up their Times Square or Lincoln Center booths on the day of the show. You can score up to 50% off plus a small $7 fee that goes toward theater education. Just keep in mind, TKTS absolutely requires you to be show agnostic. It's a perfect option if you're just happy to see literally whatever has unsold inventory that night.
Section 5. Age-based discount programs.
This is a really cool one. Some theaters actually target specific demographics just to cultivate the next generation of fans.
The Roundabout Theater Company's HipTix program is a flawless example of this. It's completely free to join, and if you're between 18 and 40, you can lock in $30 tickets way in advance. High schoolers, they can even get in for just $10 with HipTix High. It is high-quality, professional theater on a super tight budget, and the best part is there's absolutely zero morning panic required.
So when we pull back and look at this matrix weighing Rush, Lottery, and TKTS against each other, they all share one incredibly harsh reality. You never get to choose your seat. You are always trading location control for that sweet $30 to $50 price point. Rush means you gotta be early, Lottery means you gotta be lucky, and TKTS means you gotta be open-minded. But none of them are gonna give you total control.
Section 6. When to buy advance tickets.
Honestly, all of this really comes down to what kind of theater goer you are. We've got the flexible local. They're the perfect candidate. They enter lotteries daily, and hey, if they lose, they just stay home and try again tomorrow. They're playing the long game. But then you have the fixed date tourist. You know, someone flying into New York for one single night with a specific must-see show in mind. A failed lottery on your only free evening is just a completely unrecoverable disaster.
Look, if you're celebrating your 10th wedding anniversary, absolutely do not base your romantic evening on a random 10 a.m. digital draw. If you're wrangling 3 kids through the chaos of Times Square, you desperately need the absolute certainty of guaranteed seats. And if sitting behind a massive structural pillar is going to completely ruin your night, actually scratch that. If it's going to ruin even part of your night, just do yourself a huge favor and pay full price.
Before we wrap up, here's a really handy fast fact to keep in your back pocket. If you're gonna hunt for deals, timing is quite literally everything. The absolute best days to find Rush, Lottery, and TKTS availability are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The absolute worst, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It just comes down to simple supply and demand. Weekends bring in all the out-of-town tourists, while weekdays naturally leave theaters with way more unsold inventory that they need to discount.
So, ultimately, the whole Broadway ecosystem forces you to answer one really important question. What is your time, and honestly your sanity, truly worth to you? Are you willing to gamble your one big night in New York for a cheaper ticket, or is peace of mind the ultimate luxury here? Broadway discounts are incredible tools, for sure, but really only if you know how to wield them. Choose your strategy wisely. Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and hey, happy theater going.